Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you what I like to take to the junkyard. So it's been a while since I've organized the junkyard kit, so I figured I'd take you guys along. Firstly, there's a lot of redundancies in here because I've been doing a lot of adding to this toolkit and not so much taking away. The other thing is that I don't really bring power tools into the junkyard with me. I do occasionally, but 90% of the time it's only going to take you a little bit longer to do it by hand. You don't have to worry about bringing batteries, you don't have to worry about losing tools. So everything in here, for the most part, is cheap and easily replaceable, either Harbor Freight, Amazon, or whatever. Obviously, I've got the Harbor Freight Hercules bag. This is kind of, I've upgraded to this one. I started out just with some really basic little tool rolls, and then as I've been progressing, I've just been bringing more and more tools with me. So I'll bring this whole toolkit even if I'm just grabbing a small piece of trim, because when you're in the junkyard, you never know what you're going to find. So you might come in for one thing, and you might leave with something completely different. I pulled a transmission completely on a whim because there was a Volvo 240 with a proper 5-speed, the M46 box. And while I have no use for that immediately, whenever the transmission on my current Volvo 240 dies, I am going to stick that in there because, well, it's an auto and why not have a manual swap? But I digress. This has gotten a little overblown and it's time to pare it down. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've recently bought these wrenches and this socket set. So I've got this set of long wrenches. They are pretty useful. I haven't really been using them all that much because I've been kind of going more towards sockets. But it is nice to have them, though I did get something else that might replace these in the kit, just because it takes up a little less space and is a little easier, and it's a little more useful. Next thing is the socket set. This is the Quinn kind of 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive socket set from Harbor Freight. It's been pretty good to me. You can see all the goodness in there and some random stuff. These things tend to collect fasteners just by being in the junkyard. But if you want, I might do another video, a little deeper dive on this kit and give you my opinions. But for now, we're going to put that aside. Next thing, hammer, kind of dead blow, brass hammer, pretty useful. This one happens to be a snap-on, and the only reason I have this is because it came with some tools. I don't spend snap-on prices, especially for plastic mallets. I've also got this kit right here. This is a pass-through ratchet, which is useful, except I don't think I've ever actually used it. So I bought this because I knew it would come in handy, and I may have used it like once at work. This is coming out of the kit. Also in here is a set of miscellaneous metric sockets, mostly deep wells, and then a couple imperial. So there's a 1/2 inch there. This is a random assortment of sockets. This will probably stay in the kit because you can never have too many sockets with you, though I am going to cross-reference with what I have in here. This, more metric sockets, and then some more obscure stuff. So I've got Torx and inch standard Allen keys. These have been very useful. Those are definitely staying. These, maybe not. Then we've got my OG socket set. This used to just be the only thing I brought with me. Literally just a Stanley 3/8 drive, a couple extensions, a universal, some deep wells, and some shallows. I tried to make this as dense as humanly possible. I picked up the box somewhere secondhand and just basically shoved as much as I could in here. This, unfortunately, will probably come out of the kit, but it might go into a different car. So I might put this in the MGB just because this will then be useful in something else. Next up, some gloves. Always useful to have some work gloves. Adjustable wrench. Big ass screwdriver. $19mm lug wrench, because this is really useful. Little pry bar tire iron end on one side, 19mm on the other. This is kind of a necessity. Going along with that, I also have one of these guys. This is a bolt pattern gauge, so it has settings for 4, 5, and 6 lug. So if I'm ever looking for wheels, I can poke and prod and use this to quickly measure the bolt pattern. The main reason I bought this is because a Volvo 240. So a Volvo 240 has a 5x108 bolt pattern, 108 millimeters, and that is completely ridiculous. It's pretty much exclusive to Volvo, but then also a lot of Fords later on after Ford bought Volvo. It's also applicable to certain Ferraris, but I'm not going to see a Ferrari in the junkyard around here, so I'm not caring about that. But this has been useful, so I can identify different lug patterns. So if I see some wheels in the junkyard that I think would fit my car, I can just quickly check before taking the time to pull them off. So if you're looking for wheels, I'd recommend investing in something like this. This one is useful. I definitely keep this in the kit. This is a flex head extendable 3/8 drive ratchet. This has been incredibly useful, and I use it pretty much every time. So this is staying in. Another screwdriver. A really sad screwdriver. I think I found this in a car. A couple more screwdrivers and a bit driver. I don't really know where many bits are, but that's got a whatchamacallit, Phillips number 3 in there for now. It's also got some flippy packs of Allen wrenches. Then I have my old wrench set. So these are some cheap Harbor Freight Pittsburgh wrenches in the standard pattern. These have been with me most of the time, but I've since switched to those guys, those longer ones, and then I also, again, have something else to show you. These are going to be coming out of the kit, and these are going to be going into the MGB kit. Alright, so now we're pretty much at the bottom. I got a couple screwdrivers. Along the edges I keep some more pliers and some screwdrivers, some tiny vice grips, and then the rest is just some leavings and some various hardware, some lug nuts, all things that should probably come out. So that's pretty much it for what's in the bag. So now I've just got to clean that up and then decide what I'm going to put in there. And one of those things I was thinking about is this little set. So this is Cobalt brand, so your Lowe's, set with both standard and metric in normal length and stubby. So the reason I bought this, and why it's still in the package, is that I didn't really have a need for it, but it was clearanced for $14. so I kind of had to buy it. So this, I think, is going to actually replace all of those wrenches in this kit, especially if it fits in the bag, which it kind of does. I may also just keep it in here, but reorganize the wrenches and maybe put them on a little kind of clippy thing like this guy. Alright, there we go. Got everything kind of sorted. So I am using the new wrench kit that's going to live at the bottom, and I can even access everything with it still at the bottom of everything. I've got all my screwdrivers on this side, with some occasional pliers, some tiny guys and the snap rings. Over on this side, I've got my regular pliers, vice grips, and some various lights. So cheapy battery-powered lights, things that I don't have to worry about whether they're charged or not. Then we're going to add the socket set. And then the supplemental socket set. So this, I still have my metric deep wells because this guy doesn't really have any metric deep wells. And then I tried to see if I could get things to tuck in nicely, and it just kind of didn't fit. But I've got all my Allens up here, and then my Torx, some there, and then some just kind of off to the side. That's my supplemental kit of metric and other. And we got our adjustable, our channel locky guys, the get it done ratchet, and then the big ass screwdriver that might as well be a pry bar. And then in some of the outside pockets, I'm going to put these Allen wrenches back. So these lived there. And then we're going to also keep in the pocket back here, keep our gloves, because you know, you don't want your hands to get super nasty while you're in the yard. You do have to drive home. And just for good measure, I did not plan to make that pun, but for good measure, a tape measure. Oh, and I can't forget that. I definitely need that. So that very full bag is my junkyarding kit. Alright guys, so that's what I like to bring to the junkyard. Like I said, I do sometimes bring an impact or an angle grinder. And when I do that, I usually just bring the tool and then 2 batteries in addition to this kit. And I also like to bring everything in my own wagon. So, as you know, some junkyards, they'll have wheelbarrows or wagons or things that you can borrow, but if you go on the weekend, you never get your own. You usually get a broken one. So I've got a small little radio flyer wagon, and I basically grab that, throw this in it, and I'm good, unless I need to pick up something really big. I did that with an axle, and I ended up grabbing a broken big wagon from them, and then towing my wagon with it. It was kind of cute. But anyway, that's what I like to bring to the junkyard. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. If you've got any other ideas. Mostly what I work on is older American cars, so I've got an emphasis on imperial sizes, though I do need metric from time to time, especially with the Volvo and the S10. Both of those take a lot of metric fasteners, so I've modified my kit to accommodate that. So no longer is this exclusively imperial with just a little bit of metric. Now it's a little bit more 50-50. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.